My name is Tom Schultz. I am the Cincinnati 2030 District Data and Program Manager. So the Cincinnati 2030 District focuses on sustainability within the built environment. So specifically, our organization is part of the national network. There's 23 2030 districts across North America. And the goals of the 2030 districts are to reduce energy consumption by 50% by 2030, water consumption by 50%, transportation emissions associated with commuting, and then locally here in Cincinnati we have a fourth pillar which is focused on improving occupant health outcomes. The thing about some of the work that is done by 2030 districts more broadly is we're really leveraging public data that's collected by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency that creates these national medians for buildings of all shapes and sizes. So there's a sub-agency of the Department of Energy called the Energy Information Agency that periodically conducts a survey called the Commercial Building Energy Consumption Survey, which is a massive statistical analysis about how buildings perform in different climate zones throughout the United States. So what that allows the government to do through Portfolio Manager is take this massive metadata and create what they refer to as use types of buildings for anything from a restaurant to a fire station, office building, warehouse facility, air transportation hangar, anything in between. And you can see how your building performs against those national medians, but also against themselves. And so what the 2030 district really does is it just sets a goal to reduce energy. And different professional organizations that are involved with the 2030 district offer different solutions for different types of members to reduce their energy. So when you see like a Sleepy Beep Cafe, which is a small restaurant, 3 locations, soon to be 4, what they're able to do is using the exact same tool as altafiber uses with Atrium, could use with Atrium 1, we can measure how they perform over time and put them in contact with service providers that can help reduce their energy. So the model is the same. You collect data, you measure data, you analyze it. Every member of the district gets their own progress report, and then they can decide on solutions for how to make the reductions towards the goals based on the information they collectively share. And then as the whole district, we combine that information into an aggregated report to measure on the whole progress of all the buildings that have committed to the district. And so our progress report will show what the aggregated totals across all the different building types were towards that 2030 goal. And then every individual member gets their own private report showing their individual progress based on the profile of their building towards that. I think a lot of people get caught up on the idea that, well, I'm starting today. Well, actually, you're not starting today. You're starting all the way back, in our case, from the 2003 Commercial Building Energy Consumption Survey. So we measure buildings reductions based on the available public data. And so any building that has done any sort of technology upgrade, maintenance, operations upgrades, anything like that, just through regular activities of the basement of your building, you'll see things like LED lighting, huge reductions in energy just through the proliferation of that technology. Smarter connected appliances, control systems that communicate with each other. Technology in the built environment has allowed buildings to make significant progress in that time period. And so typically when a building member joins the district, they're looking at anywhere between 15 to even sometimes 30 to 40% reductions from that baseline, that historic baseline, since we compare to national data. And so nobody is starting with zero. And that's why, when we look at our progress report for 2020, for instance, the buildings that shared data with us, our aggregated reduction was a 30% reduction, which leaves 20% to go. And there's a variety of solutions that can help a building achieve those goals, and including things like ultimately installing solar is another solution as well that is becoming more widely proliferated. So nobody is starting from zero. You're typically starting from a historic point, and you're typically further along than you think. And oftentimes there's still huge opportunities for savings, oftentimes with quick paybacks as well. The only requirements for members would be to commit to the goals and to commit to sharing your data in Energy Star Portfolio Manager annually. And so those are the goals of the district. When a member joins the district, we provide a progress report for free, and we connect that member to different professional partners for free and have an annual meeting to discuss the high-level performance of their building. And we make adjustments along the way, but really what we're here for is a resource for the community, for individuals and businesses that are interested in advancing sustainability within the commercial built environment, to set some goals that align with their broader sustainability, maybe their ESG or CSR plans, and to actually put some teeth into reducing carbon and energy and water in buildings themselves, which represent about 40% of the total emissions that humans emit are associated with actually interacting, constructing, and operating buildings.
Ollie Kroner, Sustainability Manager with the City of Cincinnati. So 2030 strives for a 50% reduction in electricity consumption, water consumption, and emissions from transportation, in addition to the health metrics. Those are all 50% reductions by the year 2030. And the 2030 district was actually an initiative of the Green Cincinnati plan that was passed in 2018. When we looked at all of the different strategies available to us, focusing on the commercial sector and our large building stock really emerged as one of the key strategies. So it took shape. The City of Cincinnati was one of the early founding members alongside many of the other attendees today. And it's really exciting to see this grow into this community of people working on community solutions. I think we're at a point culturally where people recognize the reality of the climate crisis we are experiencing on a daily basis now. We have a political will, corporate will to do something, and some organizations are still looking for what to do. And this is a coalition of companies, institutions, organizations who are taking action. So this is a place where if you don't really know what to do yet, you can come and learn from other people who are taking a leadership role, who have tested out different strategies, who have fallen into some pitfalls. And the idea is that we're all in this together.
My name is Mark Fisher, Vice President of Facilities at the Cincinnati Zoo. Well, as a 2030 member, we have big goals like everybody else, but actually our goal is to be net zero water by 2025, net zero energy, net zero everything. And we have big plans and dreams, we're going to get there over the next few years. But more interestingly than that, more important than that, quite frankly, is what's beyond 2025. And for the zoo, it's what's beyond our fence. And specifically, projects we're doing in Avondale, where we're taking those same lessons learned on energy efficiency, water efficiency, all these things, and taking our talent and resources and partners into Avondale to do similar projects, from solar panels and community gardens and all the things. So trying to take what we're awesome at to help people that need support, like our neighbors in Avondale. But conservation starts in your backyard. The number one impact we can have on the global environment is by operating our facility as smartly and efficiently as possible.
So in Cincinnati, we have, we started with some of the largest building owners, and when we got some momentum going, we saw that this is really something that can be utilized by anybody. And we found that other people really needed some more support, and that's why they joined the district. So as we've grown, we've really got this great variety of people that are at different stages and how they're addressing this, whether they're farther along or whether they are, just kind of scratching the surface. Some of them have robust facilities teams, and others are it's the owner trying to figure some of this out themselves. So we like to have everybody work together to kind of pool their strengths and learn from each other. The 2030 district model is really the best way to combat carbon emissions because it directly pulls the largest contributors are urban buildings to help them reduce. By doing that, we are cleaning our air, we're making our community more livable, and we're making this region a viable and wonderful place to be.
Hello, I'm Nadia Turek, and I'm the Sustainability Director for Altafiber. We are here at the 2030 District Conference, We are a participant in the 2030 district since 2019. It's a way that we can engage with other partners in the Cincinnati area to all work collectively towards a variety of net zero environmental goals, trying to work towards lessening our carbon footprint, our energy use, our water usage, our emissions associated with our employees commuting, and also increase employee health and wellness. And we meet those goals together with the other members of the Cincinnati 2030 district. So the 2030 district was born a number of years ago out of an initiative to meet certain environmental objectives by 2030 and to take urgent action on things like climate change, energy use reduction, water use reduction, and to set very concrete goals by 2030. A lot of those concrete goals are 50% reduction, so a 50% reduction against a certain baseline. So it gave a community an opportunity to come together and meet environmental goals collectively. And there are meaningful environmental goals that are set, with set objectives. Being a member of the 2030 district is basically a free commitment on our part. We agree to work towards these collective goals. We agree to share our data, as do the other members. And what do we get in return? We get a lot of support and camaraderie, and in some cases, free consulting and help from the partners in the 2030 district. I think what's important and frankly special about the 2030 district is that it's an opportunity for us to work toward environmental goals, not in isolation, but in conjunction with the other major partners in the Cincinnati area, other businesses like us, from small to large, that all want to make similar commitments. And together, we help each other out to meet these ambitious goals, we share best practices, and we're supported. We're mutually supported by each other. And we have a lot more impact when we act collectively. So 2030 districts grew up in a context where a number of cities decided to take leadership, take environmental leadership, to take action on our climate footprint, to take action on energy use reduction, water quality, and community health and wellness. So where often there might be a lot of difficulty at the federal or at the state level, cities took it into their own hands to make 2030 districts, to take an initiative, and it was all homegrown. So it's membership based from entities within each city that create a 2030 district. So it's self-governed, self-motivated, and really neighbors helping neighbors.